Hello, super friends, and welcome to another episode of Superhero Saturday, where we talk about the art of superheroes, storytelling, and so much more. I'm going to do a quick recap of the last 2 weeks because my last video was so intense. For the last 2 weeks or so, there have been a ton of fires in my state, and my house was actually in an evacuation zone for a while. The smoke was so dense that the air quality was off the charts terrible, and we had all of our doors and windows shut. Our house did actually end up in an evacuation zone, so my family and I went over to my brother's house and hung out with my brother and my sister-in-law, and it was actually a really cool time to get to hang out with them. The firefighters eventually got a little bit more handle on it. The fire stopped burning so bad, the winds stopped blowing so hard, and we were able to come back to our house this week. Today, we actually finally got off of the evacuation list. I still have my to-go bag packed, but it rained all day today. Okay, let's go. And we're really hopeful that the fire will finally, go out and we can start getting back into recovery for that and normal, which is weird because we're actually still in a pandemic. So thank you so much for your prayers and consideration, and for any volunteering you did, donations and things to help out with all the families who did lose their homes and had to evacuate and have nowhere to go home to. We're not quite out of the woods yet, which is funny because we live in the woods, but we are well on our way to being normal 2020 level safe. Because of all the stress of this, however, I don't feel quite up to putting back on my superhero costumes, but we will continue with our regularly scheduled Superhero Saturday programs. So today we're going to talk about moving on, and we're going to talk about sequels. Specifically, why sequels usually don't work. Because you guys all know how the old saying goes, the sequel is never quite as good as the original. So why do we keep making them? Well, it comes down to we just want more of the awesome story that we started off with. The reason why I want to talk about sequels today is not just because I've been watching a lot of sequel movies to take my mind off of the fire, but because Wonder Woman 1984 is scheduled to come out this Christmas. It was supposed to come out last year, and they've had pictures and videos, and it was scheduled for October, and then it was scheduled for November, and I don't know what's going on, but it will come out someday. And I, for one, am very excited to see it. If anything, just to get back to movies, which I love, and I haven't really been able to do since 2020 took a turn, and anyway, let me start off by saying, though, that the old saying is usually right. There are very few sequels that actually even get close to living up to the originals. Especially over the last 20 years or so, and perhaps even longer, Hollywood has been obsessed with taking good movies and trying to squeeze more money out of them by making another one with a lower budget and lower quality writing. As a movie lover, I think that this is just deplorable. The thing is, though, that they're basically trying to do the same thing that we are. They're looking for the same big payoff, but without having to do all the hard work of coming up with something new. They want a guaranteed future where everybody makes a lot of money, audiences are happy, and the story lives on a little bit longer. But because they want to make as much money as possible, they try to do the same thing, but on a shoestring budget, and try to increase that profit margin as much as they can. It's not personal, it's just business. Because of this trend in the industry, which hopefully has died down a little bit since the Rona, audiences have had to have extraordinarily low expectations when it comes to sequels or remakes. We've had enough heartbreak over big businesses ruining our favorite stories with this crazy scam. Instead of lowering our expectations, though, I propose something different. I propose that we adjust our expectations rather than just dropping them through the floor. If some story is awesome and amazing and fantastic, we can love and value and appreciate it all its own. And then if another chapter comes barreling down the pipeline at us, we shouldn't judge that one based on the high quality of what we've already seen. We should have an entirely different set of expectations. We should treat it like a new thing. We can decide as a collective audience to keep it if we like it, and if we don't, just forget about it. Cue picture of the last Airbender movie. In the end, we really can't know the future, especially in 2020. Despite the trend of cheap sequels, there are plenty of great ones out there that stand up to and sometimes surpass their originals. Take, for example, the movie Aliens, or Hellboy 2, Thor Ragnarok, Terminator 2, Star Trek 2. It works the same for TV shows as well. Take The Office or Parks and Recreation, where the subsequent seasons are way better than the first. And actually, the latest Lost in Space iteration on Netflix is super cool in the second season. See, as a storyteller, I believe that sequels actually have way more potential than the originals. One of the cool things about sequels is that you already have the bulk of your characterization out of the way. The audience already knows who your characters are. They're already familiar with the laws of your universe. They've got the basics down. If you think about it, that kind of thing takes up a whole lot of screen time. A whole movie's worth, in fact. With a sequel, you don't have to worry about that so much. After reminding the audience who your characters are, you can just get right into the bulk of the story part of your story. That's where Lost in Space Season 2 really kind of hit the mark, because we didn't have to worry about learning who all of the players were. We just got right to space aliens and family unit survival. That's why I'm still so excited about Wonder Woman 1984. Even with the mysterious reappearance of Steve Trevor, who really should be dead, it still has great potential to be a fantastic new story. Any good story can continue, especially superhero stories where fighting the good fight is a never-ending battle. There are thousands of ways to create satisfying continuations that everyone can enjoy. But it's a team effort. Creators have to value and appreciate the original story. Companies have to invest enough capital into the project to make it worthwhile. And audiences have to understand that we are making a new thing. And the original still will exist regardless of the quality of the sequel. So cheers to new chapters, Wonder Woman. I look forward to the new movie with reasonable expectations. Now, I know I missed a ton of awesome sequels when I was making this list, so what are your favorites, Super Friends? And do you have any awesomely terrible sequels that you love to rag on? I would love to hear your input, so go ahead and put those in the comments below. And if you liked this video, go ahead and give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more superhero-related content every single week. You can also head on over to our website at www.fearless9.com to see my own superhero universes and get more content. And you can head on over to our Patreon page to support us as well. Thank you so much for watching, Super Friends, and we will see you next week. Companies have to invest... That was thunder. Thank you for the rain, Oregon, but did you have to get so mad about it?